So Sonic Forces is almost upon us. It's got about, I think, a month and a half out. And I believe that Takashi Iizuka, I wanted to make sure I got his name right. Takashi Iizuka, who is the current head of Sonic Team at Sega, in an interview when I guess he was being asked about the Dreamcast games, he brought up Sonic Adventure 3, and what he said about it was not very promising if you're hoping that Sonic Adventure 3 would one day be a reality. He said, I hear people saying that they want Adventure 3, but the path that we're on and Adventure 3, what fans want that to be, might not be an advancement of the series. So I don't want to do an Adventure 3 and step the franchise back just to give the fans what they want. He went on further to say, from the developer standpoint, every Sonic game that we're making is taking new steps and advances, furthering the game in a new direction, and that's dictated where the Sonic series has been going. If we can get the gameplay to evolve and get to a place where Adventure 3 makes sense, then you might see an Adventure 3 come out. But we don't want to take the entire series back to where it was just to make people happy. We want to advance the idea of what a Sonic game is. So when he said that he doesn't want to go backwards with Sonic. Tell me again, what was Sonic Mania? Wasn't that a step backwards to make the fans happy? I'm just saying. Now, Sonic Team didn't develop it, but they did help. You know, they did have their inputs, and they, I'm sure, gave the final say on what made it into the game and whatnot. But here's my thing. So Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2 are kind of they're a couple of the most highly regarded 3D Sonic games out there. And they had elements in those games that you don't see in any other 3D Sonic game. I think Sonic 06 came close to kind of feeling like a Sonic Adventure style game, with just playing as 3 characters instead of 6. But they really, I'm one of those people that I like the hub world in Sonic Adventure. I like the whole getting a cutscene after you do a level. Although they kind of still do that the same way. I do feel that since Unleashed, pretty much every Sonic game is going to be like this boost style of gaming of a Sonic game, which is fun to a point, but I don't want every Sonic game to be like that. I do want, Sonic is not just all about speed. It's also about exploring your levels and taking different routes. The current configuration of boost gameplay that they have doesn't really lend itself to that. And I feel like if you took the concept of Adventure 1 and 2 and just modernize them, just bring them into the modern gameplay, I think you could have something that really stood out among the Sonic games of today. But that's my take.
If they were to make a Sonic, first off, there's not really a whole lot of games that Sonic Team has made that have actually been good. So, back when you were making decent Sonic games might be a good idea to start with. But, I guess whatever you want to do. I feel like if they were going to do Sonic Adventure 3, I feel like they could do it now. I feel like Sonic is just kind of like whatever Sonic Team just wants it to be. There's not like a, we want to keep going forward. We don't want to go backwards. And it's like, and like what you said with Sonic Mania, they did that for people. They went backwards. Sonic Adventure 3, I wouldn't mind if they went back and did it, but if they did, there needs to be a few things that change.
Right.
The way that, if they're going to do, like, the same thing where they did, like, the hero story and then, like, the evil story or the dark story, I think is what they called it.
Yeah.
Please make Tails and Eggman's missions different from just walking in a mech, holding the A button down, or whatever it was.
Yeah, the walker
Just holding the A button to lock on as many enemies as you can, releasing the button, and then hearing that high-pitched beep of the rockets locking on. It annoyed me so much.
You know what would fit both of those characters much better than walkers? Have them fly. Tails is typically in the tornado, and Robotnik has his little flying egg capsule like thing. So it's like they basically took two things that really should be up in the air and made them into walking mechs. Why do that when you can just have those characters fly through their levels and have them be like, I don't know, like an on-rail shooter, or or just have them fly in their levels. I mean, there's ideas out there.
As long as it's not that, be completely okay with it. Knuckles.
You okay?
Don't make him run as, like, him and Rouge should not be able to run as fast as Sonic and Shadow, because their whole maps are not, their maps are based off just, like, running around, collecting shards of the Master Emerald, and it's not about speed, it's about being able to explore the terrain, because for some reason Knuckles can glide, he can climb up walls because he has spikes on his knuckles, and he can dig underground, so he's about discovering. Rouge is, I guess, kind of the same thing. I don't know how she can crawl on walls, but she's a bat, so she can fly, so that makes sense. It's like both of them have unique abilities that, kind of make sense with them. I mean, I'm not going to go there. But, like, what? They both... she shouldn't be able to crawl just, like that.
I think it has something to do with her, she has something on her boots that allow her to dig, and she also uses the same thing to, like, cling to the wall with, like, she kicks the wall and...
You know what she could do?
Fly.
Use her wings to fly.
Yeah, I was like, so... I understand that you're doing this whole, like, Sonic and Shadow are speed, Knuckles and Rouge are the hunters, so the treasure hunters, so you have to give them, like, the same abilities, but really? Bats can straight up fly.
Yeah.
They could do a whole lot more than glide.
Yeah, you don't need, and then, like, her wings might not be as big as they should be.
And then in Sonic Heroes, she was actually, like, the Tails counterpart for the Dark Team.
Yep. So just make it better. Don't make them run around as fast. Make finding the emeralds. It wasn't as bad. I remember it was hard to get an A ranking on those, or a few of their maps.
Yeah, the later maps, and make it. And if you do the radar thing, I don't mind big levels, by the way. But the fact that in Sonic Adventure 1, you had your radar be able to pick up any emerald at any time. And then the second one, they were like, nope, you can only find one at a time.
That's right. You could, if you had found one, and then you'd gone back and you were looking for one, and it was right where you were, but you had to go to that first one to get it, and then you had to come back and it was like, why can't I just get the one that's literally right under my feet?
Right. Also, and it was also pretty bad where you'd be right on top of it, but you weren't digging quite in the same or quite in the right spot to get it. Yeah, those later Knuckles and Rouge levels are terrible.
Pretty bad. I know people have their own personal opinions. I like the pumpkin map from Knuckles.
I think everyone does. I think
the
everyone
main
likes
reason is because it actually utilizes
all of his abilities.
Yes, it utilizes them in a way that makes sense. There's not a lot of ground around, so you're not trying to you don't have to walk around as much. So you're gliding around and you're climbing, which is Knuckles is kind of supposed to do. He's not supposed to be able to run as fast as Sonic, and that made me irritated. Sonic and Shadow's levels were fine. I think there was one of them that I didn't like. I can't remember if it was I can't remember if it was the egg station or whatever it was, the flying like base he had in space. I can't remember if it was that one or if it was another one.
What, an arc?
Yeah, the egg arc. I can't remember. No, it was the one where it was the combined story where all 6 of them worked together. Because Sonic and Shadows had that weird like switch system where you had to like you jumped on a thing and then you jumped and then like gravity switched or something. It was like,
right.
No, I want to make it to where they gotta like run really fast. Make it a time one where you gotta like run really fast from one spot to the other side, and you have to hit a button. Don't make it to where you gotta hit a bunch of like switches and levers. Make that like a Knuckles map.
Yeah.
But yes, other than that, Sonic and Shadow, they were fine.
And my main issue with this is let me think if I can count the number of boost games that we already have. We have Unleashed, Colors, Generations. I don't know if I'm forgetting any or not, because I think Generations was kind of like the last 3D Sonic game that they did. Oh, no, Lost World would not be considered a boost.
Rush is kind of.
But those are strictly the 2D ones. But we had a 3DS version of Generations, which plays a lot like, Sonic Rush. But I just think that and now we're gonna have the 4th one with Sonic Forces. So you've kind of been doing the same thing for 4 games now. I would say either make a new adventure or come up with something different altogether, because I'm gonna play Sonic Forces. I'm going to enjoy Sonic Forces, but the boost thing is kind of getting a little tired. So either move forward or give us something that we actually all want.